Live from the Spill Studios located by the liquor store off the I-35 interchange, it's time once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Behind the liquor store.
Yeah.
Not store, but stove.
Yeah.
You had a little soul in it this week. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Speaking of liquor store, it sounded like you had a little liquor yourself. You doing all right?
Oh, I'm doing great, actually. No, I feel all manly and testosterone pumped today. I earned several man badges working around the house.
Ah, okay. You ready to beat somebody's ass now. You feel like a real man.
That's right. It's like, yeah, I replaced tile in my bathroom and put in a new toilet seat, and I was in and out of Lowe's all day getting stuff, and I am good to go.
Hey, well, you feeling so manly and testosterone driven. I need some tile done over here. You still feeling all pumped and everything?
No.
Oh, shit. I caught you at the wrong time. Damn.
Yeah, no. See, because I did all this stuff, and my wife's just like, "You're so awesome. I'm going to treat you tonight. I'm going to go out and buy you pie." And so my wife is out right now buying me pie.
Oh, what? She don't want to give you her own pie right now?
Why you got to be like that? Why you got to disrespect my wife like that?
I meant that in a good way, man. That's the good pie. Minus the flaky crust, but man, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, lady, with the flaky crusted vagina. Oh,
hey, you spent all day working, man. It's Memorial Day weekend, and you pulling all kind of work around the house.
I told my wife, I was like, "Oh, you think it's Labor Day weekend?" And she's like, "Oh, shut up."
No, you need to relax.
Well, and tomorrow I'm helping someone move. I mean, it's you'd think, but it's actually great since there's no work to do. Everybody's like, "Hey, we can get stuff done." So, but that's what happens when you get married, man. All of a sudden, weekends and time off turns into, "Hey, this would be a great time to fix the bathroom."
Oh, them ladies keep you busy, huh?
They do.
I feel like a man today. I went out to the lake, Lake Travis, and got my ass thrown off of jet ski at 60 miles per hour. And let me tell you something.
Did you take the jet ski from someone else and they came to get it? Thrown off, just like,
yeah, it's like
get off my jet ski. I know you don't own a jet ski.
A jet ski jacking, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's like Grand Theft jet ski. No,
right.
It wasn't anything like that. No, I went out. It's a friend of mine. Him and I went out to his friend's place, who apparently has a lot of money, and therefore was able to buy not one but two jet skis. So we took the jet skis out, and I started feeling all like James Bond and everything because we had two jet skis. One, and here's the funny thing about jet skis: it's not the jet ski itself that determines how fast it goes; it's the key. So he gave me the slow key at first, and he took the fast key. And he's like, "Oh man, look, you got to try the fast speed, all right? This thing gets up to 60 miles per hour." He said, "But you don't want to do that." I'm like, "The hell I don't. I'm James Bond right now on a jet ski. I'm getting away from the villains, going after the bad guys." And I pumped that thing up to 60, and I was doing well for a while. I was like, yeah. Well, it was more like after a while, like because I just sped up, man. Because I was doing fine. I went up to 50, and I was feeling brave, and I was feeling like, oh, I'm a natural at this. Hit that 60 mile per hour mark, and next thing I know, I was in water. I didn't even see the thing in between. And here's the thing about going 60 miles per hour on something, that whether it be a car or a motorcycle or a jet ski, you roll like I was a skipping stone at first. I didn't sink. I go into water. I skipped for about a good 5 feet.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. I mean, I thought I had a concussion at first. I felt my head hit the water and it hit hard. I had that surface tension. I was like, Jesus, man. This is gonna be the saddest thing if I died out here in the middle of Lake Travis trying to like ride a jet ski. But anyway, I'm feeling all right now. If I all of a sudden just collapse in the middle of this, you know what happened.
Leon would have given you so much hell at your funeral.
Oh, I know.
Because he's got that whole opinion. He's like, black men should never drown or freeze in anything.
That is his theory.
That's his long-held opinion, and he would just be like, "Man, what were you doing going near water?"
It's true. Better. Black men should never die drowning, freezing, getting caught by a dog, coming out of like falling from the sky. Yeah, exactly.
That's our job is. I was just watching this great video yesterday. There was a great thing that Time magazine had called the 50 Worst Inventions, and somebody invented a parachute jacket, and they tested it jumping off the Eiffel Tower, and they've got footage of it because they had, they had young, camera technology had just been invented. So they're like, hey, let's film this. And the guy jumps off, and the parachute refuses to deploy, and he just smacks into the ground. And the last part of the film is them with rulers measuring the indention the guy left when he hit the ground. It's some cold-blooded shit. It's like only a white man would do that.
Yeah, they're not worried about him. They're like, we got to worry about this project. And thus Jackass was invented.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You did something today that was pretty cool. I kind of feel like I'm on a couple, not a couple of cold ones, but I kind of feel like I'm on Let's Do This right now because you actually gave us some topics to talk about.
Oh, we've got some stuff to talk about tonight, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You want to kick it off, though, with the top 5 brought to you by Spill.
Yes, that's what we always do. You know, just to give people a brief thing of what these stories are about, because it's pretty interesting. Of course, we want to talk about some deaths. We are going to talk about the latest casting in Spider-Man. Now, we know that everybody has been talking about the casting in Spider-Man. Those rumors and stories have been going around forever. But really, seriously, this is probably the most interesting casting of Spider-Man that I've ever heard.
What's key to talk about is it's not casting. It's somebody right now who is lobbying for an audition.
Yeah.
He's not even saying he has to be cast. He wants the audition. But the very nature of him saying he wants the audition has caused a shitstorm on the internet already.
Yes.
And I can't wait to talk about this one.
Yeah, I can't either because I'm dying to know your opinion on this. I know people, when we tell people, they're going to think I have one opinion, they're going to think you have another, unless you've actually heard me talk about these kind of casting choices before. And then we're going to talk about some stuff that has to deal with The Hobbit. Kind of sad news, but could be good news. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
All right, you want to get a number 5?
The number 5 film brought to you by Spill.
Damn, boy. Kick that funk.
I got the fever today, yo.
Jesus, got that booger nose funk going on. Let's see here. Number 5 is Robin Hood. Wow,
Man,
this is a weird. There's something weird they got going on here. Let me see what they're doing here. I usually go to Box Office Mojo, and they did something crazy today. All right, here we go. Robin Hood at number 5, pulling in $10.3 million this week, bringing its total up to $83 million. It cost $200 million to make, so I don't think that they're very happy with this movie. Universal is the studio that released this, and I don't think they're very happy at all.
No, this is done very poorly, especially combined with the marketing money they spent on this film. This is a big failure. I think overall in the long run it'll end up making its money back, but it is not going to be the profitable film they were hoping for out of Ridley Scott with directing Russell Crowe.
Actually, maybe it's an American disappointment, but from what I understand, I don't have the story in front of me. I know the details too much, but I hear that this movie's doing actually very well overseas.
That wouldn't surprise me. Well, right now, foreign, it's done 154 million, which isn't quite it's less than 2/3, which is the normal formula on average. Domestic counts for 1/3, foreign is 2/3. But we'll see as it opens in other countries. But right now, it's made 237 million worldwide.
Yeah, so it's actually worldwide not doing too bad. They keep bringing up these stories how it's been number 1 for like 2 or 3 straight weeks over in overseas. So not doing so bad. But over here, not getting the reception that they thought they would get from a Ridley Scott movie, teaming up again with Russell Crowe. Most of us, if not all of us here at Spill, hated the movie. So let's move on to number 4.
The number 4 film.
Wow, dropping down to number 4 is Iron Man 2. Brought in
Iron Man 2.
Yes. Brought in $16 million this weekend, and that brings its total up to $274.6 million. The movie cost $200 million to make, so opposite of what Robin Hood did. On the flip side, I think Paramount is very happy with Iron Man.
Oh yeah, and of course it's actually oddly enough it's a straight 50-50 split right now with the foreign. It's made 276 million in foreign sales, so it's up to 550 million worldwide right now. It has done very well.
Yeah, it's been out for 4 weeks. Not bad for a blockbuster movie. I guess kind of got the return that they wanted it to. How does it compare to the original Iron Man? Like box office wise. I mean, do you know?
I can find out here in half a second. I know that it hasn't quite touched what it did in the first release, but let's go ahead and
Yeah, I don't think it's doing as good as business as the first
it made
time, man.
well, it made 318 million the first time around, so it is roughly about almost 50 million shy of Iron Man's full run, but it's only been out a few weeks and still has a ways to go. I don't think it's quite going to beat the 318, but you never know. It could keep going. After all, we have not had a really solid replacement for family entertainment since then.
And this is also considered to be kind of a low weekend for box office, kind of a disappointing weekend for box office, including the two new entries that we have, which at number 3 we have The Prince of... Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, sir. I interrupted your saying.
Oh, I keep the flow going, man. Just go.
Oh, okay.
Go.
All right. Look at, keep going. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. No Pirates of the Caribbean like they thought this would be. Brought in much less than that, and it's not going to go anywhere near to be the franchise that series is. It brought in $30.2 million this weekend. That also, wow, what's up with all these $200 million budgets going on? This is also $200 million.
Because $200 million is the new $100 million. Remember
so.
In the 90s, it was like everyone wanted to make a $100 million movie. Now it's $200 million.
And that was back when everybody used that phrase. I used to hate that phrase. This year, the $100 million, 200-pound gorilla. What do they say? 300-pound gorilla in the room.
800-pound gorilla.
800-pound gorilla. Yeah, I was like
300-pound gorilla. It's like
I know.
anemic and like limping. Like, oh,
I know.
I'm only $100 million movie.
I know that 300-pound gorilla is called Cyrus, but they. No, I'm kidding.
I thought he was a 300-pound potato.
we love to make fun of him.
He's more potato now than man.
Yeah, this movie. Everybody now, you saw this?
Yeah, I've seen everything in the top 5.
Okay, go ahead and talk about it because I want to hear your opinion on Prince of Persia.
You know, in my review I called it cotton candy entertainment. It's the type of thing that it's really tasty while you're watching it, and the minute it's over, it's gone. The minute it touches your tongue, it evaporates. There's nothing there. It's got some fun action sequences, but the main problem with the film is it's built around this conceit that this magical knife that when you touch the hilt, you can go back in time up to a minute, correcting any mistakes you have. Now, while it's a cool concept, what it does is it actually robs the movie of tension, because any bold choices they make, you always feel like, even if they don't do it, you always feel like they could always go back and fix it. And that, unfortunately, makes everything in the film feel hollow, because if you don't have to worry about the consequences of your actions, then what's the point to it? It's the problem I had with the ending of How to Train Your Dragon, where everyone's like, what are you talking about? There were no consequences. He lost his leg. And it's like, we're never going to see this character again. We're never going to see him have to wrestle with having lost his leg. We don't feel like it's important. He got a replacement leg. It's no big whoop. It doesn't affect the story in any way, shape, or form. And ultimately, that's how all these everything that happens in this film feels. It feels like there's no weight to them whatsoever.
Yeah, and they put that device in there because most people know by now that this is based on a long-running series of video games. Somebody listed this as going back to the 90s. I thought that this was back out in the 80s. I could have swore I remember this being like on like Commodore 64. Prince of Persia.
It was.
Okay,
yeah, no,
that's
in
what
fact,
I thought.
I used to play it. It was the hardest fucking game in the world. You kids have no idea what hard video games are. You're all like, oh, it's really hard. It's tough. So I went and got the walkthrough online. Oh, walkthrough? What the hell's a walkthrough? What the hell's the internet?
Yeah.
When we had games, we had to figure that shit out ourselves, and Prince of Persia was one of the hardest. The minute you got to the mirror scene and your alternate jumps out of the mirror and comes and kills your ass, it was harder than shit to get past. That
we're talking about old school Prince of Persia, so you kids don't know nothing about that.
No Sands of Time bullshit.
No, we ain't talking about good. We're talking about side-scrolling blocks. We're talking about
the games didn't have colons, motherfucker. Our games had a title, and if it was equal, it had a 2 after it.
Yeah,
Prince of Persia. End of story. And it was a cool game, but it was a tough game. And yeah, I loved Prince of Persia, and I love that they rebooted the series and that they made a really cool video game out of it. But I think ultimately by taking the Sands of Time element and bringing that over into the movie, it just doesn't have a soul. and it's fun to watch, and it's definitely the best video game movie ever made. But the best video game movie ever made is still only a good movie, and I consider it a low matinee. I think if you see it, you must see it in the theater, but you are not missing anything if you don't watch it.
See, I thought at first, I was like, man, this is probably the best video game movie made. And that's not saying a whole lot because I liked it probably a little bit less than you did. But I thought, like, is that true? And then I said, you know what? I still think Mortal Kombat holds it, man.
You know what? I think you know what? I think I'll give that to you. Mortal Kombat's much more fun. It's not. I don't think Mortal Kombat's as good a movie, but I think it's more infinitely rewatchable, and I think it's more fun. It's flawed as hell, but it's flawed as hell in the way that really good Paul W.S. Anderson movies are flawed as hell, in that you know it's crap, but you love the hell out of it anyway, like I do with Death Race.
Yeah,
like I know Death Race isn't a good movie. I know it, but I love Death Race.
Well, that's the same thing, with Mortal Kombat. I was like, hey, man, you know, the acting in this is not that great, but it looks like the game. They got some cool fight scenes in here. They gave me I was about to say, they gave me a good fucking theme song. Mortal Kombat! Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, no, that was I love that movie, and I think it's a lot of fun. And you know what? I think it is ultimately overall. I would never watch Prince of Persia again, but if you came over and brought over a Blu-ray of Mortal Kombat, we'd throw that shit on and throw down.
I know. I used to dance that shit too, and I used to Liu Kang.
Oh, I had that soundtrack. Yeah, that soundtrack's awesome. Had some Gravity Kills on it, and had a lot of good music on that soundtrack, actually.
I got to ask you something, though. Everybody that's talking about this movie, at least the reviews that I read, they're talking about how Jake Gyllenhaal was miscast, and I thought, it's like, man, Jake Gyllenhaal kind of held his own. He kept his accent, even though why they speak in British, I don't know. With British accents, I don't know why, you know. But
here's the thing. Well, it's American filmmaking.
Of course.
For you. Anytime you cast a white person as a foreigner, no matter what foreign country he's supposed to be from, no matter what its ethnicity is supposed to be, if you make it a British accent, it sounds foreign to regular Americans.
Or what they do is,
if he's a Chinese villain, if he's a Russian villain, I mean, most people didn't even recognize that. Why can I not think of his name all of a sudden? James Bond, the original one.
you're talking about? Oh, he was Scottish. You're talking about Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, when he played the Russian in Hunt for Red October, everybody's like, "Oh, that's a Russian accent." No, it's fucking Scottish.
Yeah. Oh, people really thought. No, gee. You know, here's the deal though. Like, people will say, "Okay, you know what? We're making this movie. It takes place in a foreign land. We can't put this on subtitles. You know what? British accents, that's foreign to them. That says foreign. So just make them speak British."
No, the
British
only
accents.
thing. The only miscasting argument I can actually hear about this film is why were the Persians white? And all the Persians were white, and it's like, okay, that I will buy, because that's an honest-to-God complaint that makes a lot of sense.
Well, even some people say that they're very European, light-skinned Persians, so...
Yeah, there are.
I would have liked to see them cast a Persian actor or a Middle Eastern actor, but I know the business decision. I'll always approve of that, but I have to say I'm not gonna blame Jake Gyllenhaal for that. I actually like Jake Gyllenhaal in the movie. It's the movie I had a problem with. I gave it like an enthusiastic rental. I had fun with it, but the action is just it's mundane. Pretty much customary action that we see in every action film.
Well, you know what? I really like the action. My problem is that it was the exact same action sequences from Aladdin.
There was no magic carpet.
Dude, no, there's no magic carpet, but the scene in which the little boy is running through the that was straight out of Aladdin.
Oh yeah,
straight out.
The young scrappy street wolf running around the rooftops. Yeah.
But I love Gyllenhaal in this, though. I think Gyllenhaal proved that he's got the charisma. He had this roguish charisma that I really bought, and he had this great chemistry with Gemma Arterton that was just fantastic.
Well, I didn't think that the chemistry was that good. She annoyed me. I thought that there was nothing there.
I could not take my eyes off of her. She was gorgeous.
Oh, she's hot, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, she was gorgeous, not hot. She was gorgeous, and I thought they had a great back and forth. I think they worked perfectly. Now that I've seen him do this, normally we see him brood, and he's like this depressed character in most films. I want to see him do a film with Reese Witherspoon. I want to see them do a romantic comedy together.
Weren't they in the movie together already?
It wasn't a romantic comedy.
Yeah, it was the That political film.
Yeah, the wartime, the brother movie.
No, it was a movie. The one where
That's right.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
Rendition.
Rendition, yeah.
Yeah, but she was the wife back home. They really didn't have anything going on together. I mean, that's where they met, but it was there's very little of them together in that film. I want to see them in a romantic comedy together, and I want to see them in a very Hepburn Tracy romantic comedy where they're literally going back and forth. Something like that movie we really liked that nobody gives love to, Heaven Can Wait, or just Like Heaven.
Oh, I never saw Just Like Heaven.
Yes, you did. We all saw it, didn't we? Or were you the one that missed it?
I was the one that missed it.
Oh, see, the rest of the crew really loves this movie. If you guys enjoy the romantic comedy that we all love, that was this, Just Like Heaven, with Mark Ruffalo and Reese Witherspoon. That's the type of thing I want to see her and Gyllenhaal do. I think they would be really great together.
A lot of people forget that Jake Gyllenhaal. We talk about him brooding and being serious. Everybody forgets he was Bubble Boy. You remember that?
Yeah. We don't forget that he was Bubble Boy.
We try to forget.
Try to forget that he was Bubble Boy.
I think he was a little kid. He's a child actor. I thought at one time his first movie was October Sky, but either I was reading up on him, somebody pointed out to me. I think he was in City Slickers too. He was a little kid in City Slickers.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, guy goes way back. He has a long acting career. A lot of people really recognize him when he blew up in Donnie Darko. But yeah, a lot of stuff he's been trying to be more of a serious actor, especially with his sister out there, Maggie Gyllenhaal. They're both kind of considered to be, real actors, and I can see him not wanting to do anything that has no substance, which is why I wonder why he did this movie. But I can see him being both, like, as you say, the kind of leading man that you're speaking of, and I can also see him being more that action hero who actually is human. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I liked him a lot. I think he was fantastic. I think I want to see. He proved, if this movie is remembered for anything, it will be the performances and what the characters did, and for being the movie that put a comic spin on the Tea Party.
Oh, wait a minute, because I thought it was an allegory for Iraq and weapons of mass destruction and all that kind of shit. The part where they're talking about we had attacked the city and they had no weapons. I'm like, oh shit, just throw Jordan Bush in there.
No, not at all. No, I didn't see that at all. No, that the only thing that I saw in there was, of course, the and now I'm going to blank on his name all of a sudden, from Spider-Man 2.
Who? Oh, you're talking about Alfred Molina.
Yeah, Alfred Molina. I'm blanking on names all of a sudden.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, but Alfred Molina was funny as hell, but he was a Tea Party member. He was a right-winger.
I'm surprised you saw that, but you didn't see the whole allegory for Iraq.
Well, you have to actually read into that.
Really? Where they actually come right out and say we attacked the city because they've been using our weapons, and then they go there and find nothing. You didn't see that at all?
No, I did not see that at all, because it really didn't feel like it was overt. It was just because that's a convention that's been in fantasy and in historical films for quite some time. That didn't strike me as anything out of the ordinary. But what did stand out, of course, was Alfred Molina complaining about taxes and how the government gets you by taxing you, and how they tax the small businessman out of existence.
See, that's funny, because I always thought that was I thought that was a commonly used. I can see that being connected to politics these days, but I always saw that as an old narrative device too. People who hate taxes. Ever since talking about Robin Hood.
Oh, sure, yeah. But the way he was presented was very much like they were making fun of the Tea Party and of the right wing. But no, I didn't see an Iraq allegory in there at all. I could see how you could see it, but ultimately it doesn't. I don't really buy that as being intentional, because had it been an Iraq allegory, they would have made it more brutal, and it would have been more of a situation in which people were really brutalized, and everything was left in a shambles, and everybody was going around, asking themselves, why did we?
Well, I didn't think they were going to make a whole movie based on I thought it was sort of like, hey, this is something that people heard in the news. We're just going to use this in our movie so that people can kind of connect to it a little bit. And we're not going to center the whole movie around it. We're just going to use that as the device to attack this city. And people be like, oh, kind of like Iraq. But anyway, you know.
Except that at the end of the day, the weapon of mass destruction they were looking for was in that city.
I guess so.
Because what you find out is that they're looking for this thing, and it turns out it really was there.
Oh, actually, though, it was not a weapon. They used weapons because the city was peaceful.
Oh, it was a weapon, all right.
In the wrong hands.
In the wrong hands, it could be a weapon. So ultimately, I think I got to call bullshit on that angle, because really, if you were going for that, you wouldn't have something like that be there.
I don't know. I still see it, but I hear what you're saying.
That's all good. All right. Well, let's get through this.
Let's talk about a real weapon of mass destruction here. You know, fucking
number 2.
Sex in the City 2. Jesus Christ, man. The only good thing that I can say about this movie is that it did not have the success of the first film. I think that first film brought in like $57 million its opening weekend, and this movie brought in, now if you include, it opened up on Thursday?
Yep.
Yeah, if you include Thursday, the movie made a total of $46 million, $46.3 million, and
which definitely puts it over the it definitely puts it over the number 1 movie. I think you should include Thursday in this particular thing, making this the number 1 movie of the week ultimately. But
I get. Yeah, I'm going by the true weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here. Yeah, if you go by Thursday, then yeah. But if you go by just the weekend, yeah, the number 1 movie is something that's a holdover from last week. But this movie, I've said everything. I've exhausted myself criticizing this movie, and there's nothing more that I can say that probably isn't echoed by a million critics out there already, except for those few people. There's like 1 or 2 people who actually come out and say, "Oh, those people, damn those critics who hate this movie. They don't understand it. They're just against feminism." And I just like, are you serious? A movie like this that seems to like be an insult to feminism, you're gonna defend? Anyway, you know what? I didn't hear your opinion of this. I don't know if you're like some of the guys that we saw with who I thought would hate it, and they were like, "It's not all that bad."
I hated it.
Okay. Good. God damn it. Real man right here.
I think it's better than the first one, but I still hated it. It's a terrible movie. It's still just like the first one. It doesn't have a plot. This one has more of a story. There's still no plot there. And ultimately, I was satisfied with the ending because I hated the hell out of these characters. They're terrible, terrible characters. They're walking around like the ugly Americans in Abu Dhabi. They're just doing retarded things, and ultimately by the end of the movie they're all